Okay, so basically, my house has a bunch of dings, a bunch of HOA dings. 3 of them, to be specific. Lattice boards have to be repaired. They said rotten wood had to be repaired, and old wood needed to be scraped and repainted, and then my foundation needed to be painted, scraped and painted. And so I was walking around my house because I don't really be looking at the wood like that, and I realized, okay, some wood is rotten. And then I looked up and realized, oh my goodness, some more wood is rotten. The one piece I thought I was going to be able to kind of handle myself, get it, go to Home Depot, have them cut it to size, nail it up there, boom, I could do that. But then when I looked up and saw, like, oh wait a minute, there's more wood things going on than I can handle or even have a ladder to reach, I was like, I wonder, who do you contact for these kind of repairs? Who do you contact? Who? Is this a roof thing? Is this a who? What's the name of the people who do this kind of stuff? So in the meantime, going through mail, there was a flyer, and the flyer said, we do exterior paint, and we do this, we do that, and we fix rotten wood. Boom, 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 let me call them. So this phone call is that phone call. Let me say this again, in the world of asking it is given. I had asked this question in one breath, and then in the next breath, this thing that I wasn't even looking for popped up. The answer popped up. So again, asking it is given. We get to ask anything we want and know that we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. So I'm just so grateful for that, the figuring out of a thing. So okay, let's continue. Bye.
Just so you kind of get a little, people are like, I don't want to have to paint my house every 5 or 7 years. Well, you don't. But what happens is, when water infiltrates to places it shouldn't, it's going to rot a piece of wood. And that's why when people have, rotten wood next, and paint, they're like, no, how do I stop this? Well, number one, you replace the wood that's rotten with a piece of synthetic PVC, because that doesn't rot again.
Yes.
And number two, you kind of got to be a little more proactive and be painting every, 5 years, 4 to 6 years. Because some areas, I bet you 85% of your house looks great, and 15% is a problem.
Yes.
And the only way to keep from having rotten wood is to maintain it on a regular basis. Otherwise, the cost will be a little bit more, because you have to do that rotten wood before you can paint. So the way we do things is, if you haven't been painted since 2009, then you're probably more than ready to have exterior painting done, whether that's your front door, your shutters, your iron rails, your trim, garage doors or garage door frames, whatever the case may be. You're definitely at that point. So it might be, from a budgetary standpoint, you're like, hey, I'd love to paint my house, but it's not in the budget this year. No problem. That's when you go and replace the specific areas of rotten wood. You paint those new pieces only, and then if the HOA is complaining about the foundation, you have the foundation painted. So that's kind of a bridge to get you through a period of time before you go and do maybe full exterior painting next year or something like that.
Okay.
That's kind of how it's done.
Wow, see, this is what they don't give you in Homeowning 101 class. Like, who knew? It's like every time I turn around, it's something else.
It's like children. They're always got their hand out. Somebody's got their hand in your pocketbook. I get it.
Yeah.
So we know the neighborhood very well. After 30 years, we've got quite a backlog of work. So your HOA gave you a love note saying, hey, you need to get this done. Did they tell you when it had to be done by?
It said May 22nd.
Okay. I can't even get a look at it before May 22nd.
Okay.
I won't even be able to get a man by there to look at it.
Okay.
So if you were to send a response to your HOA and you said, hey, look, I've spoken, the earliest they can come out based on spring backlog is Wednesday the 25th. And I'm going to get an estimate from them.
Okay.
Not that is any weight, but they know us. We've been advertising in that newsletter and religiously paying our bill for over 23 years.
Okay.
So they ask us to go paint things for the community when it comes to someone who might not follow up on these notices and do what you're doing. So they know that we're a reputable shop, that we're local, and we get things done. So if you're at the mercy of our schedule, then, they were, I'm not going to guarantee it, but I bet they'll give you a continuation or an extension into summer.
Okay, that sounds good to me because because I feel like they only gave me a 30-day notice because I feel like I just opened this up and it said the 22nd. So it was almost like a 30-day window to fix everything in.
Well, just keep in mind the HOA is going to be much tougher on somebody who doesn't respond to that notice than they will be to someone like you who's going to send them an email back and say, hey, you know, I'm actively working on this. If they sent you 3 notices last year and you blew them off, they're not going to be flexible this year. But if this is the first they've sent you, then they're going to be much more flexible because there's besides you, there's 100 other people that are not responding, not communicating, and that's the ones that they're going to ultimately take action again. You're probably talking about a roof rake board that needs to be painted.
Yeah, and my thing is I went to Home Depot to try to get the parts myself. Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's like me trying to do my tax return. That's why I pay my accountant to do it.
Exactly. I was like, there has to be an easier way. But yes, and I was definitely looking at, like you said, replacing it with the PVC boards because that's what I already did my deck with. The deck is already like Trex decking. So that I wouldn't have that issue.
He's going to look at what we call exterior painting. He's going to do a rotten wood repair inspection. That's, if he sees a piece of wood that's rotten, he's going to specify it. So you're going to get an estimate, and there's going to be a scope of work and a cost associated with rotten wood repair. Then there's going to be a scope of work and cost associated with exterior painting, and this is going to be basically all previously painted surfaces on your house. Unless you tell me otherwise, that's how we're going to write it up. I'm looking at a picture of the front of your house now, and you've got no colonial red front door. You have no shutters. You have white trim, upper balcony, lower porch. All of your trim is white. So now we would, all the columns would be estimated for painting. If the railings up the stairs are painted, they'd be estimated for painting. The box bay window on the front of the house to the right of the step would be estimated for painting. The door on the upper balcony and the window frames and all that. Is that what you want me to do, or do you want me to go after the rotten wood areas only?
So what I'm thinking right now is I am curious to know how much it would be to have the painting stuff done. But as you were saying before, with budget and, not even really prepared for any of this, we definitely need the rotten wood repaired, which I already know. I kind of already know where all the rotten wood is. But yeah, so definitely rotten wood. And then I would like to know the estimate of how much it is for the painting of all of the things that you're saying, just in case I can fit that in my budget.
I get it.
So, and also, so just the foundation painting, the foundation brick stuff.
Yep, that'll be included as part of the exterior painting estimate. And then I'm going to send you an email now because I'd like you to forward me a copy of your HOA violation.
Okay, I got to find it. I'm on my way to work now, so I'm not even sure I have it on with me right now.
That's fine. You can send it to me tonight or tomorrow.
Okay, awesome. That sounds good.
All right, Tinesha, you have a good day.
All right, you too, and thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Take care now.
All right, you too. Bye-bye. Y'all hear that? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. He was so thorough in giving me information and stuff that I may need, just explaining how it all works. Like, even with it makes so much sense, the fact that this house should have been painted every so many years to prevent wood from rotting. Duh! That makes so much sense. I don't know what these prices are going to look like, but it's definitely something that I have to invest in, right? We can't have a raggedy house falling apart. We can't. But I just love all of the information all of the time. That phone call was like about 15 minutes of him explaining the process, how it works, how he works, how his company works. That is so dope. And that's what I'm talking about. The fact that, I've been dealing with different contractors and different businesses for a minute now, and they're all not that thorough. Sometimes I have to ask way too many questions just to learn something, figure out something, see what I should be doing, just to then realize I didn't even ask all of the questions. But why should I have to when a thing isn't my business? Like, I'm not a roofer, repair, woods person, so how would I even know what to ask? And I just feel like there's so many companies that just act like you do what they do, and you don't do what they do, but they're not bringing anything to the table as far as informing and educating their clients. So I really like that, and I really liked his attitude, and that's what I like to work with. And sometimes that level of dedication and that level of customer commitment may cost an extra price. There's usually a premium for good customer service, and I'm willing to pay that premium. I'm willing to pay it. Now, y'all know how this goes. You don't know, like, okay, when you do get an estimate, is this estimate a good estimate? Is this estimate a bad estimate? You don't know. A lot of times I rely on y'all for that. I put it out there like, hey, y'all, this is what they told me. Is that good? Is that bad? And then y'all come back and y'all let me know what's what. Yeah. So in order to figure that out, it's like, that's when you say, well, get more estimates from different companies and see what they say, and then take it from there. But I also like the fact that, so what I got to do now is just get an extension on my violation letter. I need more than 30 days to figure out and to fix what I'm going to fix, which works for me, y'all, because we about to go to Amsterdam. So I'm not even going to be here when he was saying. Actually, I will be here. I'll be back by then. But I'm just saying. I guess I'm going to maybe try to run a Google, like, I know how much the board costs. A board for 8 times 3. What's 8 times 3? 24. Almost like a 24-foot board is $100 of that for the PVC board. So I definitely know that part. All right, there you go. Let me call Jay and let him know.